Every second, a truckload of clothes is dumped in a landfill. Every year, 100 billion garments are produced, most worn less than 7 times being discarded. Who's leading this? Shein, H&M, Zara, mass producing cheap, disposable fashion at an unsustainable pace. But at what cost? Underpaid workers, microplastic pollution, mountains of textile waste. Fast fashion isn't just an industry, it's a mission that thrives on overconsumption. But what if fashion could be intentional? Today's guest, Priyanka, the founder of Aasamaan, isn't just questioning fast fashion, she's challenging it heads on. She's proving that sustainability and fashion can go hand in hand, blending the craftsmanship with modern design. But can a ethnical brand survive in a world obsessed with cheap, instant trends? Can slow fashion compete with mass production? And how do we as consumers break free from this wasteful cycle? This episode is about rethinking fashion and making better choices. Welcome to the Build Club. Let's dive in. Hi Priyanka, welcome to the Build Club. So we have this ritual in our podcast thing that we start off with the childhood journey and how their childhood shaped their entrepreneurship journey, because we feel that there's this ick with every founder. Everybody can't be a founder. So we'll start off with your childhood. Can you explain how your childhood went and everything?
Right. So I actually come from a business background.
Okay.
So all my life, I've seen my father, my grandfather have their own businesses. They were into textiles, suiting, shirtings, and ready-made apparel. So I've grown up around clothes. I've grown up around textiles. So I think that's where the interest sparked, but I didn't know it when I was a kid. In my second standard, I wanted to be a teacher, and then in my sixth standard, I wanted to be an American Idol. I then wanted to be a choreographer, and eventually, when I was in my seventh standard, a friend of mine mentioned that she wanted to be a fashion designer, and I did not know about this term then. So I went up to my dad, I asked him, and then he explained about it a little. You design clothes, it's a lot of hard work, it's not going to be easy, and all of that. So I think that's when I decided I felt like this was my calling as a 11-12-year-old. I felt like this is what I wanted to do, and that's when I was sure that when I grow up, I'm going to be a fashion designer.
Got it.
So I think all of this sparked from there, from seeing my family into businesses. Like even the conversations that we used to have at home, or like whenever we used to go out to a restaurant or say a cafe, we always saw our elders discussing numbers. They used to estimate how much the particular restaurant is earning in a day, how many tables they are turning. So I think I even did not know about the job scenario. Like I did not know about the corporate world. I only knew about businesses as a kid. So I decided that I wanted to do something on my own, and then I started working for it.
Got it. So how was, assuming you're from a business family, how was your dynamics with money? Yes, you always talked about profit and losses when you sit on the lunch table. But how was your own upbringing with money? How money influenced you in your upbringing?
I think our parents kept us very grounded, and we were not kids that would cry ki if you don't buy us something. We'd not sit in the supermarket and cry. Maybe we must have done that once or twice, but not a lot. So they taught us how to value money. We would never waste it in anything that's unnecessary. So I'm basically a Sindhi. Sindhis are taught how to
Correct.
value money. So we've seen that since our childhood.
I'm quite interested in this Sindhi and the Marwadi community.
Right.
Everywhere you go in any part of India, everybody has this insight that if he is a Sindhi or if he is a Marwadi,
Right.
they are going to do a business, and it's just there in their DNA. You have been to other places,
Right,
talked to other
right.
people. What is the difference between Sindhis and other people from the other communities?
So I think that Sindhis mainly, most of them are entrepreneurs. Like people in my community, people around me, my relatives, family, friends, and all, everybody is a businessman. They've been uh, running these businesses since generations, right? So I think they again, like we always think about how to make money or how to like make profitable businesses. Sindhis don't believe in like burning money or
I think there's some slogan also, na, कि profit आता है, loss है. Something, there's some slogan they tell about.
I am missing that one,
That's
but
okay.
I think we are not taught how to like burn money or like run businesses with losses. We are taught how to run businesses with profits. If we are running a business or we are starting a venture, it has to be profitable since day one. So I think that's the difference. Because we even value money a lot, right? We don't want to waste it.
Also support. I also heard that the support system when you're starting out a business is very strong in the Sindhi community.
Right.
Is that true?
Yeah, because even our parents have been doing that. Like my grandfather, my father, everybody has been doing a business, right? Even my mom's side of the family, everybody has always done a business. Nobody has done a job. So they understand that world. They may not understand the corporate world as much as they understand this
The business
side
world.
of the world. Yeah.
So did you spend time in your father's office? Ki you did sales and stuff.
Yeah, so we used to go. My dad had earlier he had a shooting textile store. So as kids, we always used to go there every week. We would see how the staff is like talking to the customers, how my dad is talking to the customers, what rapport he's built. So we used to do that, and then he eventually opened a ready-made garment store. So there also we used to go. I used to observe everything, how he's training the staff to talk to the customers. So I think all of that little bit has helped me also. I've understood. My dad personally used to go to purchase the stock. So he also had this understanding of what is going on in the market, what is trendy. So I think I've learned all of this since my childhood. I've seen him doing that stuff, and that's why it's easier for me to like deal with vendors, communicate with vendors, because I know like I've seen that since my
What's the
childhood.
difference between, let's say you are a Sindhi, your father is also Sindhi, but your father is an old school Sindhi and you're a modern Sindhi.
Right.
What's the difference here?
Okay, so he's been doing the traditional businesses, right? In the stores that he had, he would go to the manufacturers, buy the stuff, and then sell those to the customers. There was no customization, there was no innovation there. He had the store that he had was the best in the city. I come from Vijayawada, so it was one of the best stores in the city. But it was a very traditional business. What I am doing right now is we are creating a new product. We are designing from A to Z. We source the textiles, or sometimes we even design the textiles. We work with the artisans, weavers from the ground level, and then we turn those into apparel. We do our full research. We turn those into apparel and then sell those to the customers. So it's like a D2C brand that we are making.
Right.
We hope to build in the future. So I think that's the difference between him and me. His was a more traditional business and mine is a more futuristic business.
Another thing I've seen is that there's always profits over growth. In the Sindhi community, I've seen is
Right.
they want growth, but they don't want exponential growth. They don't want to scale it too much. They feel like profit loss there's something math will go wrong and stuff. Do you think the modern era of the Sindhi community is breaking that barrier, or are they in the same line?
No, I think people are trying to like grow, trying to break that barrier. The reason that the people in our father's generation, they used to focus more on profit was because they knew how much they wanted. They knew that what is enough for a good life, and they didn't want to like go out of that box and figure out what to do. So I think current day younger generation is they want to grow, they want to build scalable, profitable businesses, but the number one focus is always going to be profit, because there's no point in burning so much money for so many years and then like showing that you're growing so much and all of that. So profit has to be there from day one if for the current generation, but they are definitely focusing on growth.
I want to understand you. What is your understanding of this? That should you be complacent with where you are right now, or you should like scale up?
So we want to scale up. We
No,
want.
I'm not talking about the business aspect. Right now in this segment, I only want to talk about you.
Okay.
So as a person, do you think should you like have a sweet spot ki chalo I reach this stage and I'm then fine, or you should always have this growth mindset that you should grow next level.
No, I think that I have a growth mindset, because if I wanted to stay where I was, then I don't think I'd be interested in researching so much, learning so much, trying new segments. I'd be happy. So we started with women's wear. I started designing like that, but then I studied the market. I understood what is working for me and what is not working for me. If I wanted to be stagnant at the same level, I was
How
happy.
did you do that? Understanding the market and stuff.
So what we did was we participated in a lot of flea markets. The reason that we participate in so many flea markets, offline exhibitions,
What
is
exactly is a flea market?
it's a place. It's like a carnival where there are different small businesses, local businesses who put up their stalls.
Okay,
There are
okay, yeah,
events,
got it,
there are
huh.
concerts that happen there. There are food stalls, so
Got it.
people go there. So we put up our stall in a lot of these events to understand what people like. This is a part of our research also, and also our outreach. So we understand, we observe what people are liking, what are they touching, how, like what kind of fabric are they liking, and what they're not liking. So we even talk to a lot of customers. We must have met thousands of people in these events. We can't do that online. We can't have that
Right.
one-on-one personal interaction. So when we met these people, they tell us what they want. They tell us directly that do you, even when they ask us, "Ki, do you have this?" That's a sign that they're looking for something like that. So we observe a lot. That is like a part of our research only, talking to people, understanding their demands, and then catering to those.
Got it. Nice. So customer feedback is something that gets easier when you go offline.
Yes.
Is it? Nice. But you went with the online approach, right? Then why did you
Right.
go with the online approach?
We eventually want to be online first. So we want to sell online most of it. We started doing these offline events is because we wanted to meet the customers. And online, so initially when we built our website, we built it on Zoho, and we also were on Etsy and stuff like that. But we started very frugally, because I started this immediately out of college. So it was very frugal, and we figured out how to do photo shoots, stuff like that. We managed somehow. But we observed that online is not getting us the traction that we want, but offline is.
Okay.
So we started doing more of these events to understand why is that happening, because offline we were getting a lot of compliments for our products. People were actually coming into our stall, purchasing stuff. They were even buying 4-5 products and stuff like that. So we wanted to understand why is it happening. So we participated in more events, and then we understood that we have an amazing product, but how we are portraying it online is not up to the mark.
Okay.
So that's why we started with offline exhibitions and all. We continued doing more of those to understand what's working for us and what's not working for us. So we've now figured a few things out, and we've reduced doing these offline exhibitions because we want to focus on our online growth.
There's this conception in fashion brands that if you're starting out recently, you first go online and then branch out to offline.
Right.
But in your case, it was offline first and then online.
Right.
So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So again, So now that we have come up to the industry part, can you explain me exactly what Aasamaan does? What is its USP?
Right.
What's different in it?
Right. So Aasamaan is an artisanal casual wear brand where we work directly with the artisans, give them design interventions wherever necessary, and turn their raw material into clothing that is relevant to today's day and age.
Okay.
So there are a lot of brands in this segment, but most of them cater to a more mature audience.
Okay.
But at Aasamaan, our focus is on the youth. So our target audience is, say, someone belonging to the age group 20 to 35, 40. So that's our target group, and we design keeping that in mind. We've seen a lot of most people buy from fast fashion
Right.
brands, and all those dresses, shirts, everything becomes very common. For example, the black shirt that you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Everybody has it. From
Right.
every brand sells it. So when I was on the way, I saw 3 other guys wearing a black shirt. So you like it's common, it matches,
Right.
So when people want to stand out, we want to give them that option there, and we want it to be a better option than fast fashion. We want it to be more sustainable.
So if you want to stand out, wear Aasamaan.
Yes.
Acha, nice. So yeah, so why didn't you branch out from your father's business? Like start off with your father in his offline stores and then grow it from there. Why having a separate entity altogether?
So my father had these stores when we were in Vijayawada, but my parents, they moved to Vizag because of some reasons, like I think 8 years back.
Got it.
So here he runs a business consultancy, and I am actually a partner in his firm also. I go to meetings with him, I like brainstorm with him and work with him. But this was what I wanted to do since I was a kid. I even decided the name Aasamaan when I was in 7th.
Oh, nice.
So
you kind of manifested.
yes. So I wanted to do this. I feel like now I'm living my dream, although I may not have made it, or maybe I'm not there yet where I want to be. But it's a process, and I'm enjoying it. I'm learning a lot in this way.
So I want to understand again about Aasamaan, everything A to
Right,
Z.
right.
Say, I had this conception that everybody's talking about food, healthy food,
Right,
you have to
right.
eat healthy food, but no one is talking about the clothes that we wear.
Right.
If you're going to gym, you'll wear this polyester clothes and you're sweating in them. Those are basically plastic, made out of
Right,
plastic,
right.
and that actually affects your body, but nobody does anything to it. So what was your reason for going into sustainability in the fashion part? Because see, if you see the industry trends, fast fashion is growing. Everybody wants this new style,
Right.
that new style. People nowadays, there are startups which are doing trend based fashion designs. Let's say some K-pop is growing and they start shipping clothes on it. Why did you take this different approach of going sustainable and stuff?
I think I've been a believer of sustainability since I was a kid again. And this was pointed out by my best friend. She used to tell me that as a kid I would never litter stuff. I would always pick something and like put it in my pocket, then throw it in the dustbin and stuff like that. So I think these are small actions that she observed when I was a kid. But eventually when I was in college, I initially didn't want to do sustainable fashion. I did not even know about it. I wanted to be a fashion designer like say Manish Malhotra or Sabyasachi. I wanted to make those exquisite, expensive lehengas and sell those. But during college I learned more about this, and long story.
We love stories here. Please go ahead.
So we have a module at NIFT where they send us to small villages where they have craft clusters, and we get to stay there for like say 7 to 10 days, interact with the artisans, observe their lifestyles, and learn the craft, observe the craft. So during this craft cluster, I got to interact with one of the artisans, and he told me that the fabric that he was weaving, nobody in the entire village knew how to do it.
Oh wow.
So that that sentence, it did not leave my mind. After going back also, I kept thinking about it. Ki what will happen to this craft after him, because his kids were working outside. I think they were not like continuing the craft, and his wife also was partially blind or something. So फिर it made me think कि it like made me realize कि there must be so many crafts in India that are on the verge of extinction, and people maybe they don't even know about it. And these crafts are associated with Indian heritage, Indian history. There's a history to all of these crafts, where they originated from. And even if we lose one of those, it means losing an important part of our history and heritage.
Agreed.
So upon researching about these crafts, I realized that most of them, they use natural yarns, natural fibers, and they mostly it's in cotton, silk, or linen. So I understood that this is also sustainable. The process is sustainable because they use handlooms. There's no electricity involved in this. There's a lot of hard work, labor, and it has to be appreciated. So that's when we decided that I decided that I wanted to do something in this space. And currently the two core values of Aasamaan are, number one is sustainability. Everything that we make is going to be made out of natural fabrics or natural materials. Even our packaging, we don't use plastic. Our buttons are all natural. So we focus a lot on using natural materials. Sustainability to us also means enabling sustainable livelihoods, which brings me to my second core value at Aasamaan, which is everything that we make is going to be handmade or handcrafted. So if it's a textile, it's going to be block printed, it's going to be hand dyed, hand embroidered, and stuff like that. So these are our two core values, and any product you buy from us have to follow these two.
Do you think NIFT is a good college if you want to get into the fashion industry?
It's the best in the
It's the best.
country, yes. They give you a lot. So industry exposure is okay there, it's decent, but they teach you a lot of things. So whatever I know about sustainability, it started from there. After that, whatever I've researched is like post college, but they've taught us a lot of stuff. Like even if I didn't want to do something in this space, and if I wanted to do something in another space, I still have that knowledge. So they make you a good fashion designer or a good knitwear designer, whichever stream you pick. And they make sure that you know everything, all your basics are right. So I think it's a good, and the faculty is amazing. They are all very experienced, very approachable. You go to them, you have a doubt, they'll solve it for you.
So if I want to buy a shirt from Aasamaan, how much would it cost me?
For men's shirts, it would cost around 1,500 to 1,700.
That's quite cheap, no? That's quite affordable, not cheap.
Yeah,
affordable.
so we want to keep ourselves in the affordable segment, because we don't want people to pay a price for sustainable fashion. We want the
How do you
switch.
make sure that the cost don't go up? Because with fast fashion, it's easier to manufacture them because they have machines and a low budget, low cost.
Right.
But when it comes to sustainability, the fiber is quite expensive. The weaver, it's all handmade, so it gets expensive there.
Right.
And then you have your business expenses. How do you keep your cost so low that you can sell a shirt for 1,500?
So what we do is, first of all, we don't add a lot of profit. There's a little profit. Again, that covers our advertising and
Got
all
it.
of that. But what we do is we work directly with the artisans. So there's no middleman involved. If there would be a middleman, the pricing would have been different, because they add a lot of profit, and they don't pay the artisan enough. So we make sure that we are fairly paying the artisan, and we can also like get a rupee for us extra. So this is one thing that we do. Another thing is, so fast fashion, the fabrics that they use are very, very cheap, maybe like 15-20 rupees per meter.
Okay.
But whereas for us, it starts only at 100, 110, 120 rupees per meter.
Double.
Yeah,
double of the
because
rate.
it takes a lot of effort to make these textiles, and also these are natural fibers. So cost difference is always going to be there, but we want the switch from fast fashion to sustainable to be easier for people. If tomorrow I price this shirt for a 3000, people won't be okay to buy it because they'll feel like they're paying a cost for sustainability. We don't want that. We want it to be an easy switch. So that's why we've kept our profits minimal.
Right.
And tried to match the pricing that's going on in the market.
Nice. So I just want to know the cost break of it. You said that you have a small profit.
Right.
How do you, how much does the fabric cost if I want to make one shirt?
Okay, so for example, if the price of the fabric is 150 rupees per meter,
150,
for
okay.
example. So a shirt requires anywhere around 2 meters. So that'll
300.
be 300 only for the fabric. Then the pricing for labels, buttons, all of these things also add up. So the buttons that we use are again all natural. Our buttons are made using wood or coconut shell or seashells.
Nice.
So these are again, when you compare these with plastic buttons, these are going to be a little expensive.
Right.
So buttons, the labels that we use are all made of organic cotton. So labels, buttons, and then our stitching costs. So currently we are outsourcing it. Earlier we did it in house, but outsourcing is again it goes. So we don't now we are not getting inventory made. Earlier when we got inventory, we had our own inventory. The cost of production was lower, but now it's made to order because we don't want to again like waste
Right.
the products. So
So the price is same, right? If I put a made to order
so
thing.
if you get your inventory made, they do a lot of bulk manufacturing together, right? So the process is faster because
Okay.
they cut everything together and then they stitch it and send it to us. But when we are outsourcing it, like when it's made to order, it's just one piece at a time, or like whatever, how many ever orders we get, it's one at a time.
Right.
So the cost of production is higher. So it goes anywhere around 400 to 500 rupees for the stitching.
Okay, so 300 for the cloth,
Right.
400 for the stitching.
Right.
Stitching includes again the buttons and the labels, right?
Yeah, so you can take an average of 500.
500 plus 300, 800.
Yeah.
Okay, now the weaver's part is also being paid here?
Yeah, so we pay them for the fabric, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
it's included in the fabric itself.
Okay, so if Aasamaan wants to make a shirt, it costs you 800 rupees.
800 is only the product.
Okay.
And then if we are so we've not done a lot of digital marketing till now, but if we do that, then we have packaging costs involved, we have logistics to and fro, transportation, like when we get these fabrics, transportation is involved. When we send these fabrics to our manufacturer, transportation. When we get the products
right.
back, then there's another.
Right.
So all of these things, packaging, shipping also is included. So we a lot when customers order from us products worth more than 2000, we don't charge shipping costs from them, but we have to cover those, right? So it's all added into our cost price.
Right, nice. So yeah, I just wanted to know the weaver and the material side. So it's 800, nice. But yeah, 800 is quite nice. How much is the cost break for this fast fashion ones? You
A
said the
lot
fabric only cost like 20 rupees.
That also I feel like it's a lot.
Okay.
But a lot of these big brands, their cost of production comes up to 100 or something like that, because imagine if they're selling something for 400 or 500, they are not doing that at a loss, right?
Right.
And then when they put those products on sale, those go down till 200, 250. So their cost of production is definitely lower,
Right.
because they create in bulk. So it's a lot of times less than 100 rupees only for them.
Okay.
And ours, like if you add everything, it goes up till 1000 if you add shipping and all of that. So that's why there's a lot of difference. That's why they're able to sell stuff for so cheap. If you see Shein, or if you see H&M or brands like that, how are they selling stuff for those prices? Definitely somebody is underpaid,
Right.
whoever it is, be it the garment workers or somebody is definitely underpaid. So we ensure that we are not underpaying people that we work with. If we are working with a tailor, if I am paying 500 rupees to him, he's definitely not underpaid. He's happy, he's doing his work, and he's feeding his family.
Right. Nice. So, how has been, the interaction with the industry people? If you're meeting VCs, everybody, how are they responding to it?
I've met a few VCs. I've pitched also once or twice, and I've interacted with a lot of investors, potential investors, mentors. So, what we've understood is people have this resistance towards fashion industry or apparel. A lot of investors don't prefer putting their money in apparel. Is because the barrier of entry is very low. Anybody tomorrow, if you or say your friends want to start an apparel brand, you can easily do that.
Right.
And also the trends keep changing in fashion, so there's a lot of resistance when it comes to investing in fashion startups, is what I've understood, unless you're doing something different. So I've gotten positive feedback from all these VCs, investors, and that has helped us pivot and add changes, remove things like of things that were not working out for us, and then we're constantly working towards that. We've not actively tried to raise any funds or any investments till now, because we were only unsure what is the right market for us. So we've been bootstrapped, but eventually we want to scale, we want to grow, and then I think we'll plan something on those lines in the coming years.
Nice. You're also from IIM, right? IIM Vizag. Do you think an MBA is necessary for doing a business?
I don't think so. So we've
Assuming that you're from a business family. Let's say I'm not from a business family and I want to learn business, so I get to do an MBA.
right.
Then how do you think that works?
I
Think of yourself who didn't come from a business family.
for anybody, I think that MBA is great for networking.
Okay.
Not for studies, for networking, because what you study there, you will find it everywhere. You can approach faculty if you have a specific doubt, or if something is not working out for you, you can get mentors to help you with those. I think MBA is the best place to network for people. I am not currently doing an MBA. I am pursuing a postgraduate certificate program in entrepreneurship.
How is that different from an MBA?
So this MBA is a 2 years full-time program, right?
Right.
And this is a hybrid part-time program. So this is
like an executive MBA?
not an executive MBA. This is mainly for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And it recently started at IIM Vizag, and it's a 8 months we have classes for 8 months, and then 10 months there's mentoring and monitoring for our businesses. So the prerequisite for this program was that we need to have our own businesses or business ideas. So all my class, we are 30 in a class, and all of us are entrepreneurs working in different fields. MBA is, however, for students, people who want to learn, and people who want to upgrade their jobs. A lot of people who want to upgrade their, say, job, or salaries, or like positions in their jobs, they opt for MBAs. For business, I think for me personally, being hands-on, working from ground level has been more helpful. I've learned so many things that I may not have learned in a formal college setting.
Right, so I think that program is actually nice. I haven't seen this, but I've heard the same thing at ISB. ISB also recently started this thing, I incubation or something.
Yes.
It's like a 7-month course where you pay, I think 7 lakhs or something.
Yes.
7 lakhs.
10 lakhs.
Oh, 10 lakhs.
And then they have scholarship.
Oh, achha. Do you think it is worth it to pay 10 lakhs to incubate your company there?
So
does IIM have any fees?
So I'll tell you about this. When I was applying for the program at IIM Vizag, I was also applying for this same program at ISB. But then I had to choose between I did not complete the form there because again the fee was involved, and I thought should I spend so much in this, or should I put that money in my business?
Right.
The thing that worked out for me at IIM Vizag was this program is fully sponsored by SIDBI. This is the
Okay.
first program at an IIM that's
Are
fully.
there any prerequisites to it? You have to be an
Yes.
incubated company.
No. You don't have to be incubated or anything. You just had to have a good business idea for this.
Okay. Who evaluates that?
The professors at
professors
IIM
itself.
Vizag. So we
Okay.
had a proper interview process and all.
Mhm.
So these were the prerequisites.
Mhm.
You had to have a good business idea. This program is for entrepreneurs in Andhra and Telangana.
Mhm.
So that worked out for me because the campus is closer. So I had to evaluate a lot of pros and cons for both of these programs. I was tempted to go to ISB because I saw a few videos of their campus and
Yeah,
stuff
it's very
like that.
pretty.
And I was like, it's very fancy. I'd love to go there for a few
Hmm.
months. But then again, I had to take a practical decision and decide if I want to put that money there or into my business to grow it. So and IIM Vizag has great faculty. They're all amazing. So I thought this is the best for me, and that's why I applied for it. There was a very long, detailed form that we had to fill. There were interviews. They even asked for business plans from, like, they asked a few people
Right.
for business plans. People who only had an idea. I luckily had a running venture. So I did not have to like submit a full-fledged business plan, but they did that. An evaluation was done on the basis of those things, and then they selected 30 people.
Right. Do you, if someone wants to go into this program and they want to, get through the professors, what specific things should they focus on when they're pitching their business to them? And also, do you think it is okay or it is fine to go with an idea? Because I personally heard from a lot of people that don't go to an incubator with just an idea. Start off with your own self, build it by your own, and then go out when you have built something or the other.
Okay, so I will disagree.
Okay.
Because when I graduated during COVID in 2020 when there was lockdown and we could not do anything. I had a job offer in hand, but my brother, he sent me a form from there was a program called Women Startup Program by
Yeah, yeah.
NSRCell.
Right.
I am Bangalore.
Right.
Just
for the audience, can you explain what exactly is the program?
Yes, so I'm getting there.
Okay.
So it's a incubation program which consists of 3 phases. One is the MOOC, which is a massive open online course. Then there's pre-incubation, and then there's incubation. So you clear every stage and go to the next stage.
Okay.
There's final pitch deck submission. They evaluate, and then they select a few people to send to the next stage. So when my brother sent me this form, I laughed it off. I said that I don't even have a product. Do you think they'll even select me? Because people who've applied, women, and this is for women. So I told him that women.
Is there any cap for they only select 100 women, 200
Yes,
women?
so it started with 12,000 women in the first stage, which was the online course. It was on a platform, and there were a few videos and stuff that we had to watch, and then eventually create a pitch deck and pitch.
Right.
So I told him that women who are applying from across the country, they must be experienced, they must have already started businesses and stuff. And I only had an idea. So like, apply and see kya ho jayega, like what will happen, what's the worst that will happen.
Right.
So like theek hai, I told him okay, I'll apply, and I gave my best there. I applied with my idea. I did the online course. I did the pitching also. So the idea I started with is completely different from what I'm doing right now.
What did it start with?
It was a sustainable brand, but what we wanted to do was use untreated fabric. We wanted to dye those using natural colors, which we again wanted to extract those colors from flowers, from temples
Oh.
and wedding events and all that. So a lot of sustainability
Mhm.
there, right? And then we wanted to make clothing out of those textiles, but we realized that number one, people don't understand the value of this process. Two, there's no there's no skill here. Like if we wanted people to work with us, people to come on board with us, there's nobody who knows this concept here.
Right.
And three was these textiles are not even long lasting. So with every wash they start fading a little, and a lot of times people don't prefer wearing that for so long. So we thought ki we are trying to be like 100% nobody can be 100% sustainable, but we are trying to be 90% sustainable. But if people are not able to maximize the use of this product, then there's no point, right,
Right.
of being sustainable, working so hard. So then slowly we pivoted, and it was during this program only we realized that. So after the MOOC we pitched, and we got through. We went to the pre-incubation stage. They selected only 345 women out of 12,000 for this stage.
Wow, that's
So
impressive.
we had a lot of sessions on the basics of entrepreneurship. I had zero knowledge about entrepreneurship then, because I just graduated from college. So everything that I know, it started from there itself.
Great.
So there were a lot of sessions on finance, marketing, business model canvas, all those basic things. And then again, towards they also gave us a grant, small grant, 25,000. But then it was a huge amount for us, because again I did not have any savings. So it helped me make our samples, source raw materials from artisans.
Right.
So after this stage we again had to pitch our idea, like the new improved idea. And then we got selected for the third stage as well, which was incubation. They selected I think 200 women out of the 345.
Again.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So it was hectic. It was but it really like helped me understand what this ecosystem is about. If I would have started without being in this program, it would have been a different journey for me. I would not have the knowledge of this ecosystem. I would not understand all these terms that I do right now. So I think you can go ahead, start your pre-incubation, incubation with just an idea. The reason that I am pursuing the current program at IIM Vizag is because now I've done the practicals, now I've understood, I've been on ground, and now I know where I'm lacking and what I need to learn more.
Right.
So now this is helping me in that department.
So I feel like if you want to start off your business, rather than MBA, choose a course like this, because I feel like rather than studying case studies for
Right.
2 years, building something for 6 months actually gets you that business knowledge.
Yes, so even MBA has its pros, like you get to network, you get
But
to
you can network
brainstorm.
here also, right? Let's say
Definitely.
I go to ISB,
Right.
I can network there also, no, with people who are doing
Yeah.
their MBA and stuff.
But not everybody can do that, no, and not everybody has a business idea to start with. Some people maybe they get their business idea during their first year or second year in their MBA, when they talk to their peers, when they talk to their friends, and they're like, "Arey, this is a huge problem, and that we
Right.
need to solve it."
Right.
So everything has its pros and cons. When you're doing an MBA, you have that system with you, your support system. When you're trying something, there are people to push you, but not everyone gets that access, right?
Correct.
When we are not into an MBA or a full-time program, and we are trying to figure things out, it's a very lonely journey. So you have to figure out who you want to network with, you have to figure out who you want your mentor to be. So it's a lot of things that you have to do on your own, whereas you already have a support system there.
Right. Nice. Talking about unconventional ways to understand business, you have also been a part of Jagriti Yatra.
Right.
What exactly is Jagriti Yatra?
So Jagriti Yatra is an entrepreneurial train journey where they take 500 budding or like aspiring entrepreneurs to on a train journey for 2 weeks. So it goes on for 14 days, and they take you to a new city every day. So it's around 10 to 12 different cities. Every morning you are in a new city, and every night you're traveling. So that train is your home for 2 weeks. And what it helps with is networking. Number one, the biggest takeaway of this entire yatra is the network that you'll build there. So you get to meet a lot of people from different parts of the country, different paths of life. There are people from towns, villages. There are people from metro cities, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So everywhere, and you get to meet people from different age groups also.
Right.
So I think networking is the biggest takeaway. And then they take you, whenever they take you to a new city, they take you to a new business role model. They show you how different types of businesses works. So a lot of their focus is on social impact businesses. So you get to learn from them how a lot of ventures, organizations are making money, being profitable, but also creating an impact. So how they are balancing it out. They help you meet a lot of entrepreneurs who've done it, who've raised funds, who are at a good stage in their journey. So they help you interact with them. There are a lot of panel discussions, keynote sessions that happen, and of course there's a little musty involved as well. So when you're with so many people your age group, they also make sure that you're having a good time that you will remember throughout your life.
You have also been in this specific group also, right? I think I forgot the name. Engine room?
Yes.
Am I right?
It's called the Engine Room Club.
Okay.
So we are the ERCs. So the short form is ERCs.
Okay.
We are the people who run the train. So the
Run the train, literally run the train?
Yeah. So see, Jagriti Yatra cannot function without its volunteers.
Okay.
Because you need volunteers for
So
all
everybody who's a volunteer is part of the ERC club?
Yes.
Is it like that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I started as a participant. I discovered about Jagriti Yatra during COVID. It was the Jagriti Digital Yatra, and I got to know about it. I applied for it, got selected. It was all online. So I did not know how it happens on
How did
offline.
it happen, the online thing?
They had a platform by Facebook. I think it's called Workplace or something like that.
Okay.
So it happened online. They had a lot of video call sessions which were all done digitally, but they tried to give that feel ki every day we are in a new city, a new business model. They had a lot of videos, talks. So I really enjoyed that, and I was curious how they do it offline. But again, the next year in 2021 they couldn't do it offline because of the second wave of COVID. So they approached me to be a part of their engine room club, which was digital then. So I was a part of their programming team, and programming team is basically the team that decides what happens on the yatra, which session is going to happen, which speaker is going to
So the
speak.
invite has to come from their side. You can't really get
because
into
they I think they I built a good connection with them during the first time when I was a participant. So that is and I knew how digital yatra happened. A lot of the previous yatris, all of them have been on the offline journey, so they were not aware of how it happens digitally, right? So that's why they had a lot of other volunteers as well, but they also reached out to me because I also had good connections with a lot of incubators, mentors, speakers.
Right.
So they reached out to me to help to work with them in the programming department, and that's how I got to know. I made good friends in the team as well. So eventually, when the offline yatra happened in 2022, they called me again for to be a part of the programming team, and this was my first time as a proper in the offline yatra. So the experience was great. They roll out forms for people who want to volunteer, and these volunteers have to be ex-yatris. They cannot be outsiders or people who've not done the yatra, because they won't understand only the concept. So these have to be ex-yatris, and then there's a proper interview process that goes on, and they select about 30 to 40 volunteers for this yatra every year, which is called the Engine Room Club. And there are people in assigned different departments. So say programming being one department, housekeeping being one department. Housekeeping takes care of the entire cleanliness of the train, because we are going to stay there for 2 weeks, so it has to be clean.
Right.
Washrooms have to be clean. Then there's another department called catering that takes care of the food. So all the food, everything is made in the train. It's imagine making food for say 650 people on the train for 3 or 4 times in a day. It's a huge task, right? So they have their own caterers that come along for the entire journey. And there are other teams. Say there's punctuality team that ensures that you reach a particular destination on time. So there are these are different teams that are made among the volunteers, and without these teams the yatra cannot function, because the core team is like just say 15-20 people.
Do you think it's better to be a yatri or a volunteer?
Always a yatri first, because you get to experience that yatra fully. As a volunteer, you're working all the time. So I feel like and you cannot be a volunteer unless you are a yatri.
Yeah, that's right.
So always a yatri first. Enjoy, see, and understand. If you want to do it again, if you want to understand, if you're curious about how this yatra works and how they're making it happen, then you apply as a volunteer.
So how do I maximize my yatri journey? Actually, I'm 20 right now. I turned 20 today, so I'll be 21 next year. I also want to go to the Jagriti Yatra thing. How do I make sure that I maximize everything? One thing you were mentioning, it was network.
Yes.
Network. How do I network with people in the Jagriti community? I've seen one girl, I know. I met her here when all of the crew came here. What she did was she made a 5 a.m. club.
Yes.
So I don't remember her name, but she made a 5 a.m. club, and everybody used to come at 5 a.m. They used to read a book or something.
Right.
So that was a nice thing to network well.
Yes.
Any tips like that?
So about the 5 a.m. club, this happened for the first time, I think, in the Jagriti Yatra. A few people every day in the morning at 5 o'clock, no matter what time they slept, and people usually sleep very late in the yatra. So no matter what time they slept, 5 a.m. they were in the AC chair car where all these interactions and sessions happen. So punctually, everybody, like people who were a part of the club, they used to go there.
You're part of it?
No. I'm not a morning person at all, because I sleep very late. I sleep at 3-4 in the night. So 5 a.m. club is not happening. Maybe 5 p.m. club for me. But yeah, so she made that, and I think it was very appreciated on social media as well, on LinkedIn and stuff. There are posts about it, but people have, like, they start making such small groups in the yatra. So suppose I am working in the sustainability segment, and even you are working in the sustainability space. So they make a group, they form a group, WhatsApp group, and then they meet at the like yatras, at locations in the yatra, and then they interact. They understand what everybody is doing. So I think when you network, the best way to network with people is to first get to know their stories, what they are doing. And people at Jagriti Yatra, the team dedicates one whole day for that. Your first day, your full day on the train, and you discuss about your life stories, your lifelines, how you started, what you've been through, your ups and downs. They tell you to make a graph.
How is it presented? Like there's a bogie and
in
one
your
comes
own
in
compartments. Yatris are divided into groups. And so they
based
sit
on the industry, I'm assuming.
Yes, so it's a very calculated decision to make these different groups. So then they sit in their compartments, or say the AC chair cars, or places where they can like all fit in, and they start making their graphs. So like they make line graphs ki where they started from, what was a low in their life, what was a good moment in their life, and they open up, they really share their vulnerabilities, they talk about their struggles, and a lot of them, they also that's when you feel connected to people, right? If you only know about what work people do, you don't feel like emotionally connected to them, or you don't create those bonds of friendships. It's only when you open up about your life that's you start understanding the other person.
Right.
So they dedicate one full day for that, and this is like an icebreaker for everybody, and after this, then everybody becomes like good friends, and then the network automatically happens, networking.
Nice. So, yeah, I think I only got one point. Ki join as many groups as possible. That are
Yes,
going on.
groups of your interest. So another interesting thing that happened this time was people created a Sindhis group.
Okay.
So this didn't happen earlier.
Is it allowed ki you make groups
So these
based
are
on
not
the
official
community?
groups. These are so this was a WhatsApp group that
Okay.
people found other like co-yatris who were Sindhis, and they created a group, and then we met at one of the locations. We all met, introduced ourselves. It was just for us to understand what different people in our community are doing. So a lot of times, a lot of Gujaratis or like Malayalis and all of these people
Right.
also, they create a group, WhatsApp group. It's not like official Yatri, not the Yatra group. It's like an unofficial group where they just network, talk, brainstorm together. That's all. So earlier I was not aware of the Sindhi Yatris that were there earlier, but this time I got to know a lot of them. I understood what everybody is doing and what are the initiatives everybody is taking.
Nice. So, again, we'll dial back to Aasamaan.
Sure.
Now, what are if I am someone who's trying to start a sustainable clothing brand? I told you this one instance, right? That when you're wearing gym clothes, you're wearing clothes that are made from polyester.
Right.
Polyester is basically plastic.
Right.
So you're sweating the whole workout in plastic.
Right.
That affects your body for sure. So I also thought ki chalo, I'll make one clothing brand on this, but I researched quite a bit for it, and I found that there's no certain fabric which checks out all of the boxes. It's lightweight, it does not absorb sweat too much, and it's sustainable. Again, it's cheaper to make because
Right.
it has to be accessible, right? So if I'm someone who's wanting to start something like that, what would you advise me?
So I actually spoke to somebody from your college itself earlier, who also wanted to make activewear, but sustainable.
Okay.
So when I spoke to him, what I suggested was to research, like you've already done your research about the different fabrics. So I told him to research more about bamboo fabric and hemp fabric, because these fabrics require lesser water for the fiber,
Right.
for the plant production,
Right.
compared to cotton. While I agree that there's not a lot of options or alternatives available, and people are working on those, but till those textiles are developed or are out in the market, I think the best alternative can be bamboo or hemp textiles for this, because like you rightly pointed, it's basically all plastic. Polyester is
Right.
plastic, and there's been research that shows that there's microplastics that are found in your blood because of these textiles.
Right.
So I think if you want to start something tomorrow, consider more sustainable alternatives, like I said, bamboo, hemp, organic cotton, stuff like that. But most alternatives in the market right now contain a little bit of this
Plastic.
polyester, or say lycra or elastane, some percentage, to provide that stretchability to the fabric, because otherwise some of these fabrics are not that like stretchable, and not may not be as gym friendly as we'd like them to be. So I think development of such fabrics is happening. People are already researching, and once those are out, I think that there'll be a much better alternative to plastic or polyester. So like what I basically go by is whatever is not good for the planet, it's not going to be good for your body as well. So even polyester takes say 500 years to decompose, more than 500 years. So the first toothbrush that was made using plastic, it still exists somewhere on the planet.
Nice.
So it's not good for, if it's not good for the planet, how is it going to be good for your body? It won't. It's not even going to let it breathe. But when you wear cotton clothes, cotton and all these natural fabrics are the best for Indian climate, the Indian weather. So I think when you wear those, they let your skin breathe. So I think slowly there will be more such alternatives, not just bamboo or hemp or organic cotton. There will be more n number of such alternatives because people have already started working on those.
And there's this shift in all industries as well. Ki everybody is moving towards sustainability now. Now that they have realized that we have messed up the whole planet, now people are going through sustainability and thing. Another thing I thought while I was researching about this is that the India story is growing, and recently there's been a wave of coffee brands, Indian origin coffee brands going abroad. One example is Blue Takai, which has stores in South Korea as well. So do you think building your brand through these India specific cottons, like khadi fabrics like that, and then going global, what do you think of that?
So, like, firstly, I don't think most brands are trying to be sustainable. They are just telling that they are trying to be
they're putting an act.
sustainable. It's a greenwashing. It's called greenwashing.
Okay.
Where they tell you that we are doing so and so things for sustainability or that we are sustainable. But when you dive deeper, you will understand that it's just to show people that we are taking these actions, but they're not really doing so. These are just words and not actions. So a lot of brands are doing that. It makes us feel like everybody is moving towards sustainable and a cleaner, greener future, but that's far from it. So that's number one. Second, you spoke about how Indian brands are going international, right? I feel like Indians, a lot of us, we don't value what is made in our country.
That's true.
Tomorrow, if I'm selling a shirt for 3,000 here, nobody is going to buy it.
Right.
But the same shirt will sell for 10,000 or 15,000 abroad because they value it. They value what's handmade, handcrafted. They value all of these heritage things, history, all of that. So I know a lot of brands that sell for like maybe say 5,000-6,000 here, but abroad they're selling for 20,000. So a lot of these coffee brands also or other brands also must have realized that the international market opportunity is huge.
Yeah, right.
And people value it. I think it also has to do a lot with how much you are aware about all of these products. There's not a lot of awareness about Indian products in India itself. Tomorrow I put two fabrics in front of you and I tell you, ask you which is handmade and which is machine made. I don't know if you'll be able to tell that. A lot of people don't understand it.
Right.
People don't know how to differentiate a fake from a genuine product. So I think India lacks awareness, and that is why people are moving abroad and expanding their businesses out of the country. Apparel also, a lot of brands in this space, handcrafted apparel space, their bigger market is abroad. Even we've gotten international orders and people pay for it. But here people keep bargaining without knowing how it's made, what the process is. So I think the market opportunity there is huge.
Then how does one... So I have been clearly greenwashed. I've been thinking they have been selling all natural clothes, or they might be mixing it up. How does a customer know that they are making all of their products 100% sustainable? How do I know?
nobody
I mean,
can.
with food, there are labels or
Right,
stuff,
right.
but that is also manipulated these days.
Right,
There's a
right.
difference between organic and 100% organic also these days.
Right, right, right.
But how do you do with it? How do you do it with apparel?
So nobody can be 100% sustainable.
Mhm.
That's a fact, because everything that you do has a carbon footprint.
Okay.
Even one email in your inbox has a carbon footprint because it's stored somewhere,
Right.
right? So you can never be 100% sustainable, but you can try to be as much as you can. So lot of brands, a lot of brands that call themselves sustainable, they may use cotton fabric, maybe it's 100% cotton, but they're using plastic sequins on that for embroidery.
Yeah.
So is that going to again like solve your purpose? If you're using a natural fabric, if you're using plastic buttons, when you're disposing these clothes off, are you going to remove those things and dispose those off? Are you sure that this piece of shirt, this piece of clothing is going to go biodegrade somewhere? It's just going into the landfill only, no, eventually. So I feel nobody can be 100% sustainable, but as a consumer, it's basic common sense. You go and see, what people are making. If they are really using like plastic sequins, then how is this brand calling themselves sustainable? Isn't that
point.
plastic sequin more harmful for the environment?
Right.
Every time, so even if you wear something that's polyester or mixed with polyester, every time you wash it, it releases some microplastics into the environment every single time. So even people also sell recycled polyester as sustainable.
Right.
Their thought behind it is that they don't have to like produce new polyester. They are just using what is already made and what is already in the environment. But how much fossil fuel are you going to use to recycle that polyester? And whenever you will still wash that recycled polyester, it will still release microplastics. So like, how is that sustainable then? So I think a lot of these, you as a consumer, you have to use your um, basic awareness about things, little common sense, and try to understand कि if somebody, now if I am calling Aasamaan sustainable, we are using all natural fabrics, all natural trims, packaging is also all natural, biodegradable. We also give stickers with our with every order, and we've made sure those stickers are made using paper and not vinyl or plastic and stuff like that, because if we send them stickers, small things that matter, if we send those stickers that are made using plastic, then how will we again stay true to our purpose?
Right.
So that's again greenwashing, which we don't want to do.
Then how do I trust you? How do I trust you that you're making everything sustainable and not greenwashing me?
So we are very transparent. If you want to buy something from us, you ask us, okay, hey, where's your fabric from? Who's made it? And you ask us what technique is used in making it. What is the fabric composition? When we purchase fabrics from our artisans, we test those fabrics. There's something called the burn test, where we burn a particular small piece of fabric, and to understand what is the composition of that fabric, so that even if tomorrow the artisan is mixing polyester in that, and he's not telling us, and sometimes we don't get to know by touching the fabric, so we burn it to understand ki, is there polyester content in this fabric.
What happens if you burn it? Like, how does the process work?
So when there's
You get a
polyester,
cloth, you have your matchbox, you put it on.
yeah.
Then
So if there's plastic in it, it'll start melting little bit,
okay.
the fabric,
So
and
it's all natural. It'll just
it'll
burn.
burn. It'll
Okay,
burn,
cool,
and
cool.
it'll burn very easily. So and you can it'll leave a powdery substance, whereas plastic is like molten. So we thought all this in college in NIFT. That's the benefit of going to NIFT for me. That's been the benefit. We also see, like, we wash the fabric multiple times, and like we see how durable it is, how long the dye is going to last. So as a consumer, I to tell all my consumers, customers, users, ki ask us whatever you want to know. We are very transparent, and if you trust us, then only go ahead and purchase stuff from us. So that's what we do.
Is there any test I can do apart from burning the cloth?
Then see, a lot of, as a consumer, again, sometimes you may not know the difference between what is a pure cotton or what is a blended cotton.
Correct.
Right? So apart from that, sometimes what people do is they rub the fabric and they like listen to it, what sound it's making. So cotton, if I'm rubbing my cotton right now, it's not making a lot of sound, but if you rub polyester or blended, it makes a little artificial,
Sound.
there's some, so a lot of people do that also.
Okay.
So these are small things and techniques that you can use to understand what fabric is being used.
Very nice. Is there any support from government that's coming to increase this industry?
So government is doing a few things for artisans. They provide a few pensions and loans and all of that, but I don't know how, like don't have the proper knowledge of what's happening on ground, because a lot of times artisans disagree. So we don't know what the reality is, but I've read about initiatives that the government is taking for these, they give them loans for their work, and all of their machinery, raw materials, subsidies.
Right.
All of these things are happening on paper. I am not sure how much it's happening on ground.
So those subsidies are not being helpful for people who are building companies in this space?
No, not here at least. Like I have not been able to utilize, or I have not like gotten to know of any such subsidies for people working in this space. Like people who are trying to take these handicrafts to the next level with their businesses and like for profit companies. I don't know how much it's helping. I have not been able to utilize any, but I'd love to know if like somebody has used any of these subsidies or stuff.
So another question was, again, is Aasamaan only like male specific? Like you only make male specific clothes, or is it for female as well?
No, so we started with women's wear, and we just introduced our menswear last year. So we currently have both women's wear and menswear, but we are interested in exploring the menswear market more, because again, like I pointed out, that there's the same black shirt in all the brands. So I feel that menswear needs variety, and it's a good market. We've gotten good response, so we want to explore more of it. But
Right.
women's wear is still there.
No, the reason why I asked the question was, I've seen people start off with women's wear when they're starting their fashion brand and just completely fail. One of the reasons they specify is that women want a lot of variety, and the supply chain problems come in because you can't cater to all of the designs that they want.
Right.
How do you solve it?
Okay, so this is one problem that even we realize, that the women's wear market is very saturated. There are n number of brands in
Right.
this country. There are a lot of brands in this city only.
Right.
So it's very saturated, and a lot of times women, they buy what they like, right? They don't see the price. It can be something for 100 rupees, it can be something for 500, it can be
Right.
something for 2000. They buy what they like, and which again makes them which again proves the point that they are not brand loyal. So very few people.
Do you think men are band loyal?
I think men are, because I've seen in my family, I've seen in my friends group also, that when they like something from a particular brand, they try and go back to that brand again and buy stuff from there. now with the emergence of e-commerce like Myntra, Ajio, all of these brands, men are also exploring. They're trying new brands. They're seeing if they like the newer brands that are available there and maybe not in the stores. So men are starting to experiment right now, but for women the market is very saturated, and there are a lot of designs. Like you said, it's very difficult to cater to like different segments of the crowd or different people of different age group.
Right.
So it's in women's wear, it's very important that you build an identity of your own. If your skirts are selling the most, then make more skirts. See what kind of different styles and skirts that people are liking. So I think in women's you need a niche for what people will come to you. You
Okay.
can't cater to everybody.
Niche as in, how do I niche out? Should I niche out with a specific design, or should I niche out with certain fabric? Any
You can do
specifics?
anything. So there are people who so for us, ours is our niche is that we work with handcrafted textiles, and we know that not it may not be for everybody. It may not be for people who only buy from Zara, because they will not like this style. But it may be for people who want something different and they want to stand
Right.
out. Maybe people who even buy from West Side.
Right.
So our styles are very similar, right? So I think it's very important for people to have that niche. It can be a fabric also. It can be that so I know somebody who works majorly with hemp fabric. So that's her niche. She makes products and dresses out of different hemp fabrics, different textures, different weights. So there are people who only make like dresses, one piece dresses, that's all. They won't make anything else. So you should be a go-to brand for something.
Okay.
So tomorrow I want to buy a formal shirt, so there should be a go-to brand for the I need to think of your brand if I want to buy a formal shirt.
Then, is it better to go with one specific company and I make a variety of clothes under one brand, or should I make a parent company and have a house of brands and have, let's say I'm selling white specific color clothes, there's a brand for that, or maybe I'm selling clothes which are for party wear or slit dresses, I have a specific brand for that. Should I go this way or that way? And again, you mentioned that women don't really care about brands. They generally care about the design.
Right.
So if someone is using hemp fabric but still the design is not up to the mark, then I don't think women are going to buy it, right?
No, so there's a different aesthetic for everybody, right? It may not be a good design for me, but it may be a good design for my friend.
Okay.
So there's always a market for everything. So if somebody is making something out of hemp, maybe her designs may not appeal something to a specific segment of
Right.
people, but they may to another segment
Right,
of people.
right.
So that, and you spoke about having different
Having different brands.
right? So for example, if we take West Side, if you've been to West
Yeah.
Side, they have all the things that they have, all the things that they sell under their in-house brands only.
Right.
They don't take other brands,
Right.
or it's not like a multi-brand store. It's all made by
By
them,
them.
but they sell in different brand names.
Correct.
Why is that? Because every brand name caters, or every brand aesthetic caters to a different audience or a different target customer. They have one brand called Bombay Paisley, which is a lot of Indo-Western fusion stuff that will cater to a particular crowd. They have another brand called Curve or something like that, so which is for curvy women, for
Okay.
bigger sizes. And again there's another brand that they have which is called Utsa, which is a little premium range in their entire store, and it caters, so it has all ethnic wear, so it caters to a different audience with different aesthetics. So the benefit of having different brands is you can cater to specific aesthetics. And like tomorrow if I want to buy something that's proper Indian wear, a little premium, then I'll go to West Side and I'll only go to Utsa, I won't look at Bombay Paisley. So I think it helps to have different brands, versus if you have something all under the same label, it's a confusing aesthetic. Like I think Zudio does only Zudio, they don't have like in-house
Yeah.
different brands.
Correct.
So it's so when you enter a Zudio store, when I, at least when I did, I've been there only once, but when I did, it was very confusing because I wanted to buy something, but I had to look around the entire store to search
Right.
for it, and I wanted to buy something very specific. So for me it was specific. For me it was confusing, but for others it might be easy to navigate. But I feel like having separate, if you have separate aesthetics, separate products, separate target groups, it's better to have like separate brands.
Okay. Another problem also I thought was about the supply chain market. There's this problem getting associated with weavers, and customers have this demand that you deliver at this date, but the weaver guy does not supply it to you. So how does one tackle all of the supply chain part in this?
Okay, so what I'll tell you what we do. We first source the raw material from the weavers, because making this raw material, a lot of times it requires 45 to 60 days. If it is custom made, if it's not custom made, and we are if we are purchasing something that they've already, like they already know how to do, or they've already have the inventory, that again it will take 1 week to 10 days for it to reach us. So we first source the textile, then we design later. And so we make a few, since now it's made to order, we make a few samples, click pictures, upload it online, and when people like it, and when people place an order, then we get that product made, ensuring that our raw material doesn't go to waste, our eventually products also don't go to waste. Because when we had the inventory based model, we observed a little wastage in the product. Some pieces some sizes didn't sell. So we thought that in the long term it cannot be sustainable for us. At least for now, let's try made to order. And tomorrow when we are doing huge quantities, then again we can go back to the inventory model.
Yeah, that's one big issue with clothing brands. That
Right.
the return rate of products is a lot more
Right,
because of the
right.
size and stuff. Nice.
So surprisingly, we've only had 1 or 2 returns. Because of size, we've not had any other returns, because mostly people have bought from us offline only. So one benefit of
yeah.
offline is people pick the garment, they try, they see if it's fitting them, if it's looking nice on them, and then they buy. So the return rate is much lower for us because of this. But now, since we are going to focus more on online growth, we have to think about how this is going to work out for us, returns and all.
Do you have any online strategies?
Currently we've not worked on, so because I have no knowledge about the online world, I've not like explored it much. I don't know what's going to work for us, what's not going to work for us. But we'll try to make this all work organically. We want more people to try our products, wear our products, give us feedback. Hopefully we'll be able to share that feedback with other potential customers, and we don't know, it's going to be a lot of trial and error for us, so we'll figure out along the way.
Nice. Chalo. Okay. I think that was enough insights upon, building a fast fashion brand. Priyanka, thank you so much for coming today. We sign off for today.
Thank you for
Thanks.
inviting me. It was a amazing conversation.
Same here.